Hi, this is Rich Weekly, Barthorpe Electric. I want to show you how to configure an M340 Ethernet port in this video. So, previous video we had selected the M340 and started a M340 project, selected the processor. We go Tools, so that's the one I have loaded, this M340 Test 1. Go Tools, Project Browser. So if I double click on this, it brings up the local rack, which is the one that has the processor. So we have these communication ports on the front of this processor. One of them is this Ethernet port. Right now, if I look at that Ethernet port on the channel, there is no link to it, so it doesn't have an address or anything, and we're going to go set that link up so we have that information. So the way that I do that, over in my structural view here, the project browser, I have a folder that's a communications folder. I want to select networks. I'm going to right click. I'm going to add a new network. And the type is Ethernet. Now it's going to default this name Ethernet 1. You can name it whatever you want to name it. I'm just going to leave it as the default. I'm going to say that's fine. That's what I want to use. Now that we've created this Ethernet 1 network, I can click on that network and I can bring up the parameters for that network, okay, to set the address and everything. Now the important thing here, if you look up in this top left hand corner, is the module family. If I don't have the right module family selected, then when I go to link it to the Ethernet port, I won't see my network that I just created or my link that I just created. So I'm going to go hover over these. If you hover over them, you'll see what they can be used for, which modules. And since we're using the M340 processor, I'm going to select that family right there. So now that we have the right module family selected for that CPU, I can set the address here, 192. Now I'm just going to use a default. We'll just say 20. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. We won't give it a gateway address. We're just showing you how to create the link. And that's all I need to do to create the link. And I go ahead and close this and it'll accept the modification. So now I can go back to this port. And again, how I got here is Tools, Project Browser. So I select the PLC bus. It brings up the processor and the power supply. That's all we have right now. I select the Ethernet port. So that's the port here in the middle. If I double click on it, again I select the channel. Now I can look for the link. There's that Ethernet 1 link. Now if I didn't have the right module family, that link wouldn't show up. So if you go and you create your link and you've done that, and then you come to link it to the port and it doesn't show up on this drop down list, then that's because you need to go back and make sure you have the right module family. So there I selected the Ethernet link. I can go ahead and close this window and save that modification. If I go back and look at the browser here, I have these blue check marks because I've created another part of the configuration and I haven't compiled this yet, so I need to go to Build Changes, and all my blue marks are gone. So now I've created this Ethernet port under the communication, under networks, and now I've linked that port to the Ethernet port on the processor, and I can load that, and then I can use the Ethernet port for that processor as well. So that's how you create the Ethernet port. We'll be back in some other videos and talk about how we go about assigning I/O cards in these slots that we have here now that we have a configuration on the processor and we've configured the Ethernet port.